Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, this is the big man Boisterous with part 2 of our Diamond League destruction game between our two players of VPtit, the red Protoss, and his opponent, the blue Zerg in the bottom, Zennith. As this game continues on, we have noticed that there's an amazing amount of tech going up for Zennith, with both the Greater Spire and the Ultralisk Cavern going to be finished, in the next couple minutes. He does have quite a large Mutalisk flock swarming around the map, just looking for weaknesses in the Protoss player. Excuse me. He's looking for weaknesses in the Protoss player's defenses. But so far, our Protoss player has been playing this extremely smart, just keeping his army spread out. He's not going to let anything really get sniped as these Mutalisks try to swoop in, but they're just not able to do any sort of damage at all. They're really just completely getting blocked out even. In the back, we do have a Zealot Warpwind coming in. Actually, there's also a DT here, so the Zealot kind of appears just to have been like the flashy side of it, and he's not going to get the spawning pool, but 2 DTs there plus 2 Zealots, and he would have been free and clear for that spawning pool. And if he had sneaked back here and killed off the Infestation Pit or the Greater Spire, that would have been fantastic for our Protoss player. I really like when people do those kind of drops where it's a mixed drop, so your opponent will look at it and he'll see 2 Zealots, and he'll be like, man, that's kind of a small drop, that's odd. But then he sends his army to go clean it up, and then he's like, wait a second, I'm still under attack. God, there's DTs there too. Usually, a lot of Zergs will pull an Overseer and just have an Overseer in the control group with their army, so their Overseer will follow their army around. But if you can manage to fight a Zerg that doesn't do that, it's a very good way to get ahead quite fast. We do have a lot of Banelings coming up, 40 in fact, 40 Banelings. And I wonder what he's going to be doing with these little guys. He does have Overlord Speed and Overlord Carrier up, so he might be going for some Baneling bombs here. I'm not sure how effective they're going to be there, because his entire opponent's army is composed out of essentially a Mortal Archon High Templar. There is some Stalker here, but the Stalker numbers are not nearly high enough for the cleave of the Banelings to really do any high amounts of significant damage. I feel like it's just going to get absolutely destroyed by the Archons, the Immortals. All of those guys are just absolutely going to wreck their army. We do have a Fleet Beacon coming up. Ooh, are we going to be seeing some Mothership play? Maybe some Carrier play? Because really in this situation, Carrier play isn't that bad. Because Carrier play is only bad if you're facing somebody that's going like Roach Hydra or going very, very mass air. Because if they're going very, very mass air, they can just switch into solid Corruptors or even solid Mutalisks, counter Carriers extremely well. But I feel that if you're facing somebody that's going like Baneling Bombs, Roaches, and Ultralisks, if you just sneak out a couple 3 to 4 Carriers and then you just surprise them in the next big engagement, you can absolutely take the game on that note alone. Just because they're going to have nothing up and nothing prepared to deal with your Carriers. Or even if you just use one Carrier as a harassment tool to deal some damage to drones, because Carriers do have a fairly long range. They're not the slowest unit to build, they're not the fastest, but they're not Broodlord speed to build, where Broodlords you need to make the Corruptors and then you need to morph them into Broodlords, and it's just a very slow process. But it does look like he is opting for the Mothership. And the Mothership is an extremely good unit. I hate to see it go next expansion pack for StarCraft 2, and I'm hoping it doesn't have to go, but it doesn't really have a spot in the Protoss army that much. It's just an awesome unit. It flies in and it's basically just a copy of the Arbiter. I think we can all agree on that. The Arbiter from Brood War had the ability to lock down units in an AoE, turned units in an AoE invisible, and it could recall units to it. Oh well, the Mothership is still an awesome way to kind of add that Arbiter into the game, because the Arbiter was awesome. We do have the Protoss army looking fairly sizable, if a little bit spread out. Looks like this is definitely the bulk of his army. It has all the power units, all the Archons, all the High Templar. Really, this has a bit of a reserve. Actually, this has 6 High Templar. So it looks like he's splitting it up between the power units, with one Archon over here and the bulk of the Archons over on the other side in his other pack of units. But then splitting up the High Templars fairly evenly. I'm surprised he's splitting his army like this. We do have the Mutalisks flying up here, but they are going to find a very nasty surprise with all these photon cannons. And this is actually quite a few Mutalisks still flying around, keeping the airs in the Zergs, firmly in the Zergs' control. However, where is that mothership? It just popped down, so I think we might be seeing a pseudo timing push come out from the Protoss. Just, you know, a mothership timing push where he does his best to deal as much damage as possible as that mothership comes out. We have the Zerg player backing off a little bit. He really does not want to engage into all those photon cannons. He's going to try to do as much damage as he can. He's going to try to pick apart his opponent, but I really don't think he can with this few Mutalisks. I think he really just needs to go for an attack because he's maxed. There's nothing he can do anymore. And is he going for any upgrades? Does he have any upgrades at all? He actually has level 2 air attack, so that's really high. He has level 3 ground armor and level 2 ground attack for both ranged and melee. I think he really should get those Hell Ultralisks up because he has the bonus Ultralisk armor too. So they have 6 armor, which is a ridiculous amount of armor. And we do have this Baneling drop is going to be very, very ill-fated. Yeah, he lost them. He has no idea where the units are. They just all disappeared under the mothership block. And oh, he's just piecing his army apart. I don't know why he's doing this. Whoa, that was a lot of High Templars to go down though. It won't matter because he does manage to get a force field off on approximately half of our Zerg player's army. The Zerg player still has a lot of Broodlords running around in the background, but it's just nowhere even close to the Protoss forces, which were just entrapped in their own vortex. But I think the Protoss player might just be able to push it up here. This is not that many Broodlords. I mean, 8 Broodlords is a lot of Broodlords, don't get me started. But if you're going to try to fight an army with just Broodlords, you're gonna need 10 to 12. It's just, you know, you need more Broodlords than their army can take, basically, and he does not have that number of Broodlords, as these Blink Stalkers will just absolutely tear them up. We do have these massive amounts of Zerg reinforcements, though. Just so many Infestors popping out. We do have 6 Infestors on the field currently. Actually, a lot more than 6 6 Ultralisks. There are Ultralisks on the field. Just an amazing amount of Ultralisks flooding in from all sides, from all bases. The Overseer is doing a little bit of, just in case there was a burrowed Dark Templar under the mothership. You know, it would be able to see it. There'd be absolutely no issues with seeing that Dark Templar. I don't know why these Overseers are still kind of just chilling here. So there's 4 is a bit unnecessary. 4 is definitely overkill, I would say. And all of the Overseers look like they might go down. Is the last Overseer going to get away? It does. Fairly cool. The Zerg player is amazingly I won't say far behind. He's hurting right now. He really needs some way to get back into this game because he's 1 base up, I think, right now. I do believe. Yes, 1 base up. And 1 base up is not the position you want to be in when you're facing a Protoss Deathball. Because when you're facing a Protoss Deathball, you want to be able to say, alright, I want all of my units alive right now. Right now. But anyway, as this Protoss ball continues to roll around a little bit, I am going to be going into part 3 of this video. All parts should be in the video description. And, you know, I'll see you guys in a second.